Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to talk a little bit about my Reading Rush book list. And I'm super excited. This is the first time that I'm doing the Reading Rush, so I'm really excited about let's get down to it. Before we even start, before I forget, the Reading Rush is going to actually be on Monday, July 20th through Friday, I think, or is that Sunday? Let me check. I think it's Sunday because I'm pretty sure it's a 7-day challenge. Through Sunday, Monday, July 20th through Sunday, July 26th. And there are 7 different challenges that you have to, it's backwards on there. There are 7 different challenges. Days long, so there'll be 7 challenges, 1 for each day. So let's talk about the very first challenge. I am all sorts of giggly. Challenge 1. Read a book the same color as your birthstone. I was born in August, so my birthstone is period. I found this book, which is called The Fixer, and I don't know why it looks white on the camera, but I promise it's green. Maybe on the back. Nope, still looks white. So it's a really pale green, like all on the sides, like these buildings are actually a pale green, but I promise it's the color it's supposed to be. But I found this book and it's called The Fixer. I actually got it last year. Yeah, last year at a book fair. And I read the back and I thought that it was interesting, thought it'd be something that I'd like to read. And it is supposedly about this girl named Tess Kendrick. She is 16 years old, and apparently her older sister, she doesn't know it yet at the beginning, but her older sister is what they call a fixer in, I think it's DC. I think this book takes place in Washington, D.C., but she's supposed to be some sort of fixer for like super powerful people and make scandals go away. And she eventually goes to this prestigious, like, I don't know if it's an all-girls school or if it's just some sort of like boarding school, I think. She goes to this prestigious school. And she, unknowingly, she ends up following in her sister's footsteps, and she becomes kind of like the fixer for that school. And I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to like boarding schools or like elite schools and stuff like that, it's my jam. I really do like books about classes, about, like actual school. But yeah, so I'm super excited to read this one and to see if it's something that I like. So this is the first book that one of the books that I'm gonna be reading for those 7 days. So if you wanted to read this book, or get it for, I would say middle school age child, maybe high school, it's whatever, to each their own. It's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, if you can see that. The camera quality is not the best, but Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Okay, moving on right on. Read a book that starts with the word "the." So ultimately, I decided on rereading The Crossover by Kwame Alexander. Oh, there we go. Now it's not fuzzy. Maybe it was my face that was getting in the way. So this actually is a very good book. It is about 2 twin brothers that play basketball and their experiences, because one is like super into like playing basketball and is still super motivated and passionate, and the other twin is starting to like girls and trying to take girls out, and he's getting a little bit more focused on romance instead of sports. And you can see a lot of like how much one brother is feeling about his other brother not practicing as much or putting in as much energy and effort into the sport as he is. So it's a really good book, and it's a really fast read, because if you look inside, let me show you. They are free verses. That's not the best opening, so let's open it. There we go. So it's all free verse poetry. Let me see if I can show you. Yay, that's better. So it's all free verse poetry, but it is told in like a story. So each poem builds upon each other in order to weave this story about these 2 brothers. So if you've ever read like an Ellen Hopkins novel, it's a lot like that. And he has a few other books just like this, but Kwame Alexander is a great author, and this is a great book, and I'm super, super excited to reread it. Okay. Let me see. Read a book that inspired a movie you've already seen. A Wrinkle in Time. While I am super, super excited to finish reading this book, because I did start it, I haven't finished it, so I'm going to start it back over. And it is about a girl named Meg, and it is a science fiction, would I say fantasy? No, it's more so just like a science fiction novel. You can put it in the sci-fi fantasy category, but it's like a science fiction novel about a girl named Meg and her brother Charles Wallace and her friend Calvin, and they're going on this grand like adventure trying to find her father because he got lost in this, I gotta keep reading, but he got lost in this like other world kind of thing is what I think it is. And yeah, I've seen the movie, but I can't even tell you what that other world was because I've only seen the movie once, and it's not the clearest movie. It's not, I don't know. I've only seen it once, but I know it has something to do with like a tesseract. So I need to reread this from the beginning over again. And I don't know, I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be a really great read, and I've heard so many good things about it. Like, many people read it when they were young. Many people love this book. Many people say it's just a good staple to, like, actually read. So, A Wrinkle in Time. Alright, so what is the next thing on my list? It says, read the first book you touched. Okay, there was this giant tub that I have. So, the first book that I touched in the tub, honestly, because it was on the top, was A Face Like Glass by Frances Hardinge. So I'm actually super, super excited about this book. I got this book at the same book fair I got The Fixer at, and this one really, really made me excited. It's also like a middle grades YA novel as well, but it sounds like really interesting. And so I'm just going to read the synopsis because that's honestly the easiest way to give you this information than me like trying to navigate my way through this book. But it says, in the underground city of Caverna, the world's most skilled craftspeople toil in the darkness to create delicacies beyond compare. Wines that remove memories, cheeses that make you hallucinate, and perfumes that convince you to trust the wearer, even as he slits your throat. On the surface, the people of Caverna seem ordinary, except for one thing. Their faces are as blank as untouched snow. Expressions must be learned, and only the famous face smiths can teach a person to express or fake joy, despair, or fear at a steep price. Into the dark and distrustful world comes Neverfall, a girl with no memory of her past and a face so terrifying to those around her that she must wear a mask at all times. Neverfall's expressions are as varied and dynamic as those of the most skilled facesmiths, except hers are entirely genuine, and that makes her very dangerous indeed. I'm really excited to figure out why that makes her dangerous and the whole kind of lore behind like an entire civilization like not having the ability to express themselves with their faces. Like, I'm a very expressive person, and so that is rather interesting to me. So, really, really excited to read this one. Oh, where am I gonna put this? Let's move some stuff around. Alright, so, next category. Read a book completely outside of your house. Alright, so for that one, I actually have Monster by Walter Dean Myers, and let me show you. Good. I am so excited about reading this one. I read the, what's it called? Words are escaping me right now, and I don't know why. I read the novel version of this graphic novel, well, the regular novel. I can't think of words right now. It's a little graphic, but it's a really, really good book about I think he's 16 years old. Don't quote me on that because I don't really remember. but I think he's a 16-year-old boy. I know he's a teenager, and he gets sent to jail for a crime that he didn't commit. And it's honestly about his experience in the jail and all the emotions he felt being in there, knowing that he was innocent, and knowing that he didn't do anything wrong, but he was still in there, and no one believed him. So it's a really compelling story, and I'm just really excited to see how it like comes along through like the graphic novel and the panels and stuff. So I think it's going to be really, really good. And I'm going to be doing my outside reading on my patio. It's a private patio, so I'll be fine, you know, safe distancing and all that good stuff, so I don't have to worry about being around people. So that's why I'm still going to do the outside. And for other people, if you do not have that kind of option, like obviously you should try to figure out a different words. Figure something different out. Okay, that's, you know, these words are not working with me right now. Read a book in a genre you've always wanted to read more of. Okay, so I chose Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Paul Curtis. Yes, by Christopher Paul Curtis. And I could have read it on the back. It says it right here, but whatever. And this is supposed to be like a really, really good novel. But I really did want to read it because it was on my shelf and it looks like a really good book. So I'm going to read a little bit of the synopsis to you so that you know what this is about. It's 1936 in Flint, Michigan. Times may be hard, and 10-year-old Bud may be a motherless boy on the run, but he's got a few things going for him. 1, he has his own suitcase full of special things. 2, he's the author of Bud Caldwell's Rules and Things for Having a Funner Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. 3, his mama never told him who his father was, but she left a clue. Flyers advertising Herman E. Caldwell and his famous band, the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. Bud's got an idea that those flyers will lead him to his father. Once he decides to hit the road and find this mysterious man, nothing can stop him. Not hunger, not fear, not vampires, not even Herman E. Calloway himself. So, it kind of seems like it's a coming of age novel as well as a historical fiction, so I'm super excited about it. It's for ages 10 and up, so like once again it's like really in that middle level age where you're like upper elementary school through middle school kind of age range, but I think it's still a good book for any age range to read. And really cool, it has an introduction by Kwame Alexander, the one who wrote the crossover. So I'm really excited to read it and to see what lies within these pages. And I honestly, it's probably going to be a really quick read. Another reason why I got it. And for my last category, number 7, it says read a book set in a different continent. Okay, so at first when I saw that one, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to pick because I live in North America. So I was like, a lot of books are set in North America. A lot of the books I read are set in North America. So I really had to broaden my horizon. And so when I was looking through my little book bin, I came across this one that I haven't read before, but I have really, really wanted to read. And it gives me the perfect opportunity to read it. And honestly, it just really made me excited once I saw the book because I forgot I even had it. So, Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. Okay, so this book, hold up, give me a second. I really am so excited to read this book, can't tell. It is actually inspired one of my favorite movies. When I was a little girl, my mother and I would watch Memoirs of a Geisha all the time. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. So it was something that me and my mom could watch together and we bonded over, and I just really loved the message and I loved the story. I mean, like, if that's not you, I'm sorry, but you know, I really did connect with this story. And if you don't know what Memoirs of a Geisha is, I'm just going to read the back a little bit and expand upon it. It says, in Memoirs of a Geisha, we enter a world where appearances are paramount, where a girl's virginity is auctioned to the highest bidder, where women are trained to beguile the most powerful men, and when love is scorned as illusion. Oh, yeah. It is a unique and triumphant work of fiction, at once romantic, erotic, suspenseful, and completely unforgettable. So, this movie is really about like a little girl. Well, I saw the movie, and I'm assuming that a lot of that is going to transfer over here. But it's about this little girl. They say her eyes are like, yeah, like rain. So she has like really, really unique eyes, and she was poor. Her dad was like a not farmer, a fisherman. Oh, I don't know why I couldn't remember that word. But her father was a fisherman. Her mother died when she was really young, and she ends up getting sold into this, like, it's not a brothel. I don't know what it's called, but she gets sold into this like place. I gotta read this to figure out what it's called. But she gets sold into this place, and at first she's just, you know, cleaning up and kind of like a servant, I guess you could say. And eventually she rises through the ranks at this like place and becomes a geisha. And that's when it gets into her like selling her virginity, right? Yeah, auctioning her virginity to her highest bidder. But sadly, like, her sister wasn't afforded like the same opportunity she was. But if this, you know, if something like that is really like your jam, like historical fiction and like love and emotions, like it's just a good book. It makes me happy, but not in like it's like a really sweet smiley book. It just makes me happy because it's a good story. Let's say that, because I haven't read the book. The book might be bad, but I doubt it because the story is so good. And so all of those are my 7 books that, let's try it the other way. How do I do this? There we go. Those are the 7 books I'm going to try to read for the reading rush, but you know, I have a couple that would work in a couple of different categories, like Memoirs of a Geisha. I've watched the movie. I want to read the book, so it'd work in that category. It'd work in the different continent category. It'd work in the genre I want to read, but I haven't really read much of category. Would it work in any others? Not the category. It'd work in the outside category. Like the other 3, it wouldn't work because it wasn't the first book I touched, you know, all that good stuff. So yeah, like super, super excited. I think this is going to be like a really, really great opportunity, and I just can't wait for Monday now that I've found all my books. I almost started reading before I made this video, and I was like, no, I have to stop, and I have to wait for the reading rush. I might post a video about the commenting on these books like at the end of July or beginning of August. We'll see, you know, with my what I read in July video. But bye guys, thank you for watching, and have a fantabulous day.